sun is shining. This is my very first video on YouTube, and I hope that it inspires you, whether you're an empath, a highly sensitive, or just a self-titled witch, or a human being. I hope that this inspires you to create a ritual for yourself, for the greater good of the world and the planet that we share, this planet we call Earth. No matter who you are or wherever you are, there is so much to be grateful for, and if you can't see it right now, find something to be grateful for. That could be your favorite book, a pet, a delicious drink, something that you really love to drink, be it chocolate milk or hot chocolate. Those are my favorite. Maybe it's sparkling water, or I don't know, they have all these fancy sodas these days. Maybe it's a matcha latte, whatever it is. Next time you're feeling down, I hope that you can find a moment to just feel like a sliver of gratitude or hope for our planet. If I could give the world a big group hug right now, I would. And it's not just the people of the planet that are being affected by what's going on. It's the animal kingdom, it's the plant kingdom, it's the very air that we breathe. Our environment is being affected. And while everything is energy, everything vibrates at its own rate. Some more obvious than others. More obvious vibrations that we can really feel are music, or the sunshine, or the energy from the moon, which this spell would be a perfect full moon spell. Full moon magic is usually targeted towards healing, new beginnings, letting go a little bit. If you are wanting to do more of a banishing or letting go spell, I would work with the waning moon versus the new moon. But I do believe this spell could work for both, because there is a mixture of intentions. So maybe you're not into moon magic at all. I personally am. I feel a connection with the moon deeply. I don't know. We're all so uniquely different. This is my take on creating a peace on earth candle spell, essentially. And I'm so grateful that you have found your way to my corner of the internet, and I'm really excited to start this journey with you, and I'm really excited to share myself with you guys. I, like a lot of other practitioners, I'm shy and sensitive, and I feel like I'm kind of coming out of my shell a little bit later in life than I would have liked to, but everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that, good and bad. It doesn't necessarily mean that what's happening to you isn't hard or uncomfortable, but usually discomfort challenges you to propel forward for change and growth, and that is so beautiful in and of itself. I wanted to share with you a spell that I have crafted for myself, but also with the intention for world peace. Similar to a prayer candle, but more specified, with the intention to bring peaceful, loving, high vibrational vibes back to the planet, because it's so desperately needed right now. We know that everything is energy, so the information and the news that we consume every day is also having an effect on our own selves as well as those around us that we love dearly. Now, I know a lot of you don't necessarily have all of the tools that I do to make candles, but I hope that this video encourages you to add peace work into your practice. Sometimes it's as easy as lighting a tea light and connecting to your heart space and just anchoring in what you feel is true, which is pure love at the end of the day. I think that is our birthright, and the world right now could benefit from a lot of love and peace and tranquility. So if you haven't incorporated something like this into your practice, I hope that it encourages you to do so. Like I said, everything is energy, and we have the opportunity to make a difference regardless of other people's beliefs, because, you know, we're considered more woo-woo, and I truly believe that we're all... Come here, Chloe. I truly believe that we're all connected and each one of us can make a difference, even if it doesn't necessarily feel like we're making a difference. We are, by honoring ourselves and our peace of mind. And remember, magic is for the benefit of not just yourself, but everyone around you. So you can feel free to work with any deity or god, goddess that you prefer. For some reason, I opened one of my books and Vishnu came up. So I'm going to be working with Vishnu for this spell in particular. And I feel like the most powerful part of the spell is when you actually sit with your herbs or crystals, whatever ingredients or correspondences that you have at hand that you would like to use. I'm the kind of girl that's like, don't be shy. I like stuff. I like things. I know there are a lot of witches on here that are super humble and say use what you can, which of course I agree with, but like, I like stuff. I like my space to feel magical and pretty and sweet, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do believe that money and things are very spiritual in nature. I think our whole planet is very spiritual, and a lot of people, will say that the material world takes over the spiritual, but I would disagree on that, because I can give someone something that's a material item and it'll bring so much joy to them if they in fact like the actual gift I bought them. But I am definitely a little bit of a material girl, and that's something I've had to come to terms with, because the spiritual community can be a little bit judgmental, to say the least, and I was judging myself hardcore. But the purpose of spirituality is to embrace all of you, and not all of us are witches. Not all of us are even aware of the spiritual sphere that we're living in, and that everything is energy. A lot of people don't think that way, but there are a lot of old souls on this planet that are super successful, many athletes and singers, and I would say that they're, old souls, and they're probably on their last life here on this planet, if you know what I mean. Their last reincarnation. But yes, I think the spiritual community, this is a little bit of a rant, and I'm gonna tie it up with a bow here, but I do believe that the spiritual community has some pretty heavy judgmental opinions and beliefs, and the older I get, the more I realize the less I know, and the more excited I am to just feel my way into existence and life and appreciate everything that I do have. I am very fortunate to live a beautiful life and to be able to, spend my extra money on some crystals. It's not necessary, but it is fun and it's pretty and it's joyful. Also, two things can be true. Just because I like stuff doesn't mean that I don't put humans first, which I do. Humans are far more important than anything tangible. And I look out for that in qualities of people, You can tell when someone cares too much about their image and not enough about heart and soul. So it's a strange walk, but it's reality, I guess. And I can understand why so many people are judgmental against consumerism and materialism and all that stuff. I get it. I really do. And obviously there is a point where, people can take it too far, but then again, you can look at like a hoarding situation, and that person struggles with their mental health most likely. So we really need to ease up, lighten up on ourselves, on everyone, and just, I think too, if you heal your mindset about materialism and money, you're creating a new pathway to invite in more abundance. And I would only want that for everyone. There is enough for all of us on this planet. And I don't believe that money is the root of evil. I believe that money is a tool, and money can also make the world a better place. It buys food for the poor. It can buy clothing for those who can't afford clothing. Unfortunately, there are a lot of imbalances in our worlds, and I'm not going to get into that, but I do have the awareness there. I'm not totally blindsided. I think a lot of us in the spiritual community too, we're a little bit we overanalyze a little bit too much about society. And personally, I'm using this channel, ironically, to focus more on myself and share my practices and beliefs with you. But I want to encourage you to think for yourself. And so if you disagree with me, that's awesome. we're allowed to have these conversations, and we should have these conversations. Yeah, that's my little rant. I'm gonna stop. So I'm actually creating my own candle for this video, but feel free, if you do take inspiration from this, you can just use a little tea light. You can use as little or as much as you want in terms of your correspondence selection. I've narrowed mine down to, I believe I'll have 2 crystals that I'll be using and 3 or 4 herbs. I'm gonna start off listing what I am using, and then we will get into the actual creation of the candle. With any candle magic, just be careful, keep a watchful eye on your candle, especially if you've added herbs to the candle, because it can be flammable, which is why I feel safer creating candles myself, because it's in a container and it's less flammable that way, less likely to spread and possibly combust. Not saying that it won't, but I don't think it will, and in my experience it hasn't happened, and I'm not wishing that it does. Appropriate colored candles that you could use are blue, rosy pinky hues, lavender, silver. Either one of those colors are suitable for this spell because there are several intentions that I'm imprinting on this spell. Also, another great choice would be orange. Orange can be great for harnessing the power of change, or the energy of change, and new direction. I do believe that the more of us that include these in our rituals and in our practices, the more powerful they are. If you are inspired by this spell or you have one of your own, please share down below, because I'm super curious. It'd also be really cool if we created our own community where we could either work on a spell together and then perform it at a specific time on a specific day. That way we would have sort of like our own internet coven, so to speak. I'm super lax with my practice. I don't take it, it's not that I don't take it too seriously, it's just that I do this for my own personal desire to make the world a better place, and for me to feel better, and for other people around me to feel better. I do believe that there's a healing aspect in recognizing that you're a witch. A lot of us, you know, struggled with our upbringing, and we use the craft to empower ourselves, and that's part of the reason why I'm uploading online, is because we all need community, and it's the internet, it's the golden age. I love it here. I feel like it goes without saying, but obviously lavender is going to be used in this spell, just because I feel like it's just, for me, it's like the pinnacle herb of just relieving sadness, soothing your soul, and relieving you of stress. So I typically will use lavender for most spells. I find in terms of peace and keeping peace, it's definitely my go-to, and forever a lavender girl here. Honestly, I love flowers in general. I hope to one day have like a huge flower garden, but that's a conversation for another day. The next flower that I'll be using are roses, and now I'm going to be using 2 different colored roses. I am going to be using a little bit of pink and a little bit of red-leaved roses. Pink is to invite in more of a gentle, unified energy, and also to sympathize with those who are living on this planet or on this globe that maybe don't have the resources or the lifestyle that I do or you do. And so this is just, I really would like this candle to send out a burst of love and sympathy and just kindness to those people. And even if it's a second piece, just a lot of the intention that I have for this candle is for humanity, but also the other living creatures and wildlife on this planet. I am Jewish, so part of me feels like I should make a video about my thoughts regarding Palestine, but I think there's never enough people talking about it, but it weighs very heavily and deeply on my heart, and if I could scoop them all up and invite them in my home, I would. Obviously, it's not possible, but my heart and a lot of our hearts are bleeding for those people. But they have a special place in my heart because in a way I don't feel responsible, I don't feel guilty, I'm just ashamed of the Jewish community and the extremists that they have such intense blinders on from brainwashing and indoctrination, from being young kids and being told that these people are bad or wrong or evil. It's hard for me to comprehend the heavy blinders that are in front of their eyes and their hearts. But I've also worked really hard most of my life to keep my heart open and to keep my mind open, and I've just recognized that humans, we're all precious. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you come from. There's no greater human and no less than great human. We are all the same, and a lot of our lives pan out just based off of where we were born or who we were born as. And yeah, this candle especially holds a place in my heart for the Palestinian people, and as much as they need the good energy and support and love, this spells also for me to grieve and grieve for them. Which brings me on to red roses. Red roses in magic can be really great at assisting you through grief with love and also peace. So the intentions for the pink rose is gentleness, unity, and sympathy, and then the red rose is for holding space for grief, love, and peace. The third herb that I've chosen is meadowsweet. Meadowsweet also carries the energies of love, healing, peace, and harmony. There are so many other herbs that you could do to tinker this to your own liking. Again, using what you have on hand. Chamomile would be great. If you have essential oils, you could use orange essential oils or ylang ylang, rose oil. Also, I considered adding dill to this candle, but I chose not to. I feel like it's better for banishing, but it is a really great herb for protecting against evil. I may even just sprinkle it around the perimeter of the candle as I'm doing my prayer and my intention and my actual ritual, which I probably won't film. Once the candle is fully burned, which it should last about several hours, I would say. I'm not actually sure how long my candles last, but they are made of a coconut soy wax blend, and they do last quite a while because it's in a decent jar. You can also use something like violet, which invites peace and also is great for making wishes. And I do believe that most of us probably wish for world peace more often than not. I know I yearn for it, and so much so that I have had to sometimes create a fantasy world in my little head to escape reality, and I think that's okay. If you think about children and why they're so happy all the time, it's because they've allowed themselves without judgment to live in fantasy, and that's beautiful, and that's part of the magic in life, and we lose that as we get older. So don't lose the little girl in you, or don't lose the little boy in you who has an imagination, an open heart, and an open mind. You are more important than you know. I do intend on lighting this candle every morning or evening, most likely morning when I do a morning ritual, at least for the next month, I'd say. I think the candle should burn that long, probably longer, but it depends on how long I'm letting it burn throughout the day. Once the candle is burnt, I will be leaving it outside for a little bit just to release that energy into the world. That's more of like a personal kind of approach to how I've done things in the past, and it just feels right to me. You know, some things don't really need an explanation, but I thought I would share that with you. And so I think now would be a great time to get into the actual candle making. Thank you for listening to me babble. Yeah. so much for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did or did not, either or, please leave your comments down below. I would love to talk to you. I am so grateful that we have the internet to be able to connect with people, and I'm really excited to continue to come on here and speak with all of you. I have so much to learn all the time, and yeah, I'm really excited for this journey. Thank you again, and I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful, lovely day, and I'm sending you so much freaking love from the bottom of my heart out into the world, out into your life, and blessings to you, your friends, your family, and I love you so much. I wish I could look into your eyes and see you as a human being and the soul that you are, to tell you that I love you, because you matter. We all belong on this planet, and we are so lucky to be living in this day and age where we can really be who we want to be, who we're supposed to be, and make mistakes and grow all at the same time.